Today on Nova Legends podcast, I'm going to try to explain the Virginia High School League playoffs. We are at that time of year again when we're going to arrive at a state champion. Exciting time of year. I love the playoffs. Dreams are shattered, but more importantly, are more fun. Dreams come true. Teams celebrate. It's just a great time. Games I love. I love to experience these games, and I plan to go to as many as possible. But recently, I was talking to a good friend of mine, Mike Lyons, whose son Gage Lyons plays for McLean, and he was asking me about some of the Loudoun County teams because he was maybe thinking ahead, like, who if we can get out of our region, who are we going to play? Well, I had to inform Mike. Well, you don't have to worry about the Loudoun County teams because we won't ever face them in the state playoffs because they're in a separate classification, which is probably nonsensical because of all the areas in the state. Loudoun County is the most like Fairfax County, Arlington, Alexandria. Those are our brethren. Those are kids we played against in club soccer. So we don't play against them, and I'm going to try to explain the playoff system and why we do the things that we do to crown our state champion. And first of all, in Virginia, there are 6 different classifications, and teams are placed in the classifications roughly based on the size of their enrollment. Sometimes there are some schools that are so remote they may play in a different classification, or it's just so convenient that they be in a particular one. But generally, it's the size of the enrollment. So in the classification in Northern Virginia, and when I say that on this podcast, I'm talking about Fairfax County, Arlington, and Alexandria. They're in the highest classification 6, along with Prince William County, several Richmond schools, several Hampton Road schools, and there's some schools sprinkled throughout the state that are also 6. I think like Franklin County outside of Roanoke is a 6. It's a little strange, but most of the classifications that are 6 are in Northern Virginia. I think Prince William County, Fairfax, Arlington, they make up more than 60%. So when you say that it's a state champion, in some regard, it's a regional championship because of the way we structure our state playoffs, which it's kind of sad, but that's just the way they do things. So obviously, we finished with the regular season, and the regular season basically all it does is determine your seeding for the postseason, particularly the district tournament. If you win your regular season, generally you're not considered the district champ. That's determined by who wins the tournament, the district tournament. So if you say you're the district champion, that generally means you won the district playoffs. Not in football. Football, they don't have a district tournament for football. Obviously, you can't play that many football games because you can only play one a week. So football is a little bit different. In the regular season, in some districts, they still play every team in the district twice in soccer. Basketball, definitely twice, but in soccer, like for example, Yorktown, where my kids go to school, they only play their teams once in the Liberty District. But there are some districts where you play everyone twice. I guess that's determined by the districts and the region that you belong to. So you get your seedings from the regular season for districts, and then you're seeded according to your standings. And in soccer, they do points, just like they do in pro soccer. 3 points for a win, 1 point for a tie, no points for a loss. And generally, all teams qualify for the district tournament. There are some districts where teams do not qualify that are last place or second to last place. I believe in Prince William County, there is one district where the lowest seed does not qualify for postseason, but I think that's kind of an outlier. Most teams will qualify. And in the district tournament, you play single elimination, and then the winner of the tournament is the district champ. In some districts, the district tournament is a knockout tournament in that only some of the teams in districts will qualify for the next tournament, which is regionals. So there is one round of games that will be knockout in the northern region, which the Concord district and the Liberty district are part of. In the first round of the district tournament, the teams that lose, their season's over. Yorktown, my kids' school, we lost to Wakefield in the first round of districts on the boys' side. So therefore, we didn't qualify for regionals. Same can be said for Concord. On the other hand, in the Occoquan region, which is made up of the national District and the Patriot District, Robinson, Lake Braddock, South County, Woodson, Alexandria City. In the national, you have Falls Church, you have Hayfield, you have Lewis, and so on. Every team qualifies for the regionals. So all 8 teams, I believe there's 8 in those districts, all qualify for the regional tournament. So the district tournament, there's the pressure that you want to win that tournament, but life doesn't come to an end. Your life continues if you do lose because you qualify for the regionals. But they do something a little bit, I think, odd, weird, strange, but maybe it works out that if you lose in the early rounds of the district tournament, you do have to play earlier games in the regional tournament. And what they do is the teams that get to the semifinals of the other district tournaments get a bye in the regionals. And the teams that get to the final in their district tournament, this is the Occoquan region, so the Patriot and the national districts, they get 2 byes in the regional tournament. So they're automatically in the quarterfinals of regionals. And so the teams that lose early in their district tournament in the Occoquan region are eligible for regionals, but they have lots of rounds to play to get to the regionals. So it's very strange. It does benefit the teams that go deep into the district tournament because they get 1 or 2 byes. But it's a very strange tournament. It's hard to keep up with for neutrals. In the northern region, the Liberty and the Concord districts, Oakton, Chantilly, Madison, South Lakes, Yorktown, Washington, Liberty, Herndon, Marshall, so forth. Their regional tournament is just an 18 traditional tournament, and it's knockout. It's single elimination, except in the regional tournament, the 2 teams that get to the finals do qualify for the state. So, and it is a knockout tournament, but you do, if you get to the final, you do go to the state tournament, whether you win or not in the final. So your life does go on. And the same can be said of the Occoquan region. Even though it's kind of a strange tournament in that you have all these byes, you still have to get to the final to automatically qualify for states. So there's going to be some pressure finally in that region. There's finally going to be some pressure. In this, everyone wins a trophy mentality that we have in sports. The Occoquan region, eventually the players are going to have to play some games that mean something in there, and that's today for them. Someone, for the first time in that region, seniors are going to have their careers come to an end, unfortunately. Then in all these games in a regional tournament, the home team is the higher seed, unless there's a conflict and there's other sports going on, lacrosse, whatever, and then you have to play at a neutral site that the home team selects. But generally, all the games, the higher seed hosts the games. And then we go to the state tournament. Now, state tournament, I think probably folks who've been around sports all their lives, you can envision a tournament where you play the best teams around the state and you do some travel, get on buses. That doesn't happen. That's not the way our state tournament is here. So in our state tournament in Class 6, and again, that's where Northern Virginia teams are. All of the teams are Class 6. In the northern region, which is the Liberty and the Concord districts, the top seed from the northern region. So let's say, for example, Herndon wins the northern region. They would play the second seed from the Occoquan region. So let's say, for example, Alexandria City from the Patriot District. And they would play. And then on the same side of the bracket, the second seed from the northern region, let's say, for example, Langley, they would play at the top seed of the Occoquan region, let's say, for example, Lewis. So that would be the bracket. And then those winners would play for a chance to go to the state final. So let's say, for example, Herndon wins that game against Alexandria City. And let's say, for example, South Lakes wins that game against Lewis. Then those teams would play in the state semifinal, which is really strange. You would think the state semifinal, you'd be playing teams far away, but no, you're playing teams 10 miles away. In 2021, when Yorktown went to the state final, we played West Springfield in the state semifinal for a chance to play Hilton in the final. That's the way it is. So they're all local games in the state. And part of this is because more than half of the teams in the classification 6, are from Northern Virginia. So it's very much a regional tournament. On the other side of the bracket will be 6B, which is the Prince William County teams couple of teams, maybe from um, north of Fredericksburg, Stafford County. And then in 6A is the Hampton Roads teams, Virginia Beach, Norfolk teams, and a few Richmond teams. That's 6A. And so 6A and 6B play, same kind of 4-team tournament. That winner plays are the winner between the Northern Region winner and Occoquan Region winner in the state final. So for the first time in the state final, you actually will play a team far away. Again, in 2021, when Yorktown got to the final, we played Hilton, only 25 miles away. Hilton, I believe, it's in Prince William County. So it's a really strange state tournament. It's more of a regional tournament, but this is what we have. So when you think about it, I'm not trying to take away from the athletes, coaches, and the supporters. It's going to be an amazing run. And all the people that love high school soccer, we're going to enjoy this ride, the emotion, the penalty kicks, all the things that make up great soccer. We're going to see that. But for neutrals, real lovers of the game, after the season's over, you're not going to really know which team is best because many of the best teams are in different classifications since there's 6. That's too many. You probably only need 3 classifications that would probably cover it. Obviously, the very, very small schools with 100 kids in each class, they probably don't have a lot of great soccer players in each class. So maybe you can make a justification for having a couple, 3 state champs, which is the way it was before 2013. But 6 is ridiculous. The reason for that, you never get a good reason when you ask, why do we have so many state championships? Why is our regional tournament mindless and you're playing the same teams over and over again for a chance to escape the region? You never get a good answer. It's always like, well, that's the way the DSAs want it. That's the way the principals want it. That's the way. Never an answer like, well, this is the way we do it because it's best because of this. The competition is better. There's never an answer that has any logic to it. It's just they want it. And I think the DSAs, the principals, they're kind of like in a everyone gets a trophy mentality. They have to win. And what we should do is we should tell them they won. You guys are state champs. You're the best principal, the best DSA. You won. And then settle the games on the field. That's what we should, on the court. Hopefully, we'll move back towards a more meaningful high school playoffs. But until then, we have to appreciate what we have. And it is going to be exciting. And we're going to have a lot of emotions. And it's going to be a great achievement for whoever can win it. And even though we'll may look back on it and wish we can decide, could the Fairfax County team beat the Loudoun County team? We'll have to be excited about what we have. And we will have a worthy winner on the girls and boys side when this is over. Thanks for listening.